All right, hey VC, we are back. My name is Jamie. First off, I want to thank everyone who checked out the Revival House of Vinyl Society. I've chatted about this before. Revival House is a restaurant concert venue in Stratford, and once a month, last Thursday of the month, you can bring out your vinyl, and Mr. D, who's the DJ, will play your vinyl. And I did bring Alice Cooper's Love It to Death, played Isn't My Body, and I'm 18. And a great variety of music last night. I had some country, some rap, some dance, a lot of reggae, and yeah, it was good. Some 80s stuff. No, it was a good night overall, and a good crowd too. And yeah, so if you're ever in Stratford, the last Thursday of the month, you can check that out. Okay, for this one, thought we'd start off with something a little different, with a book. This is out this month. This is Led Zeppelin by Led Zeppelin. And yeah, we'll check it out. And this is their, of course, official 50th anniversary illustrated book. This is still in the shrink. And it's got the write-up on the back that's kind of a page insert. And it says, Led Zeppelin by Led Zeppelin is the first and only official illustrated book by the band. It is a unique collaboration between Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, and John Paul Jones, commemorating 50 years since their formation. This 400-page chronology spans half a century of the band's unparalleled career. It comprises hundreds of carefully curated images and artworks personally selected by the band. To accompany the visual journey, the band have written their own exclusive annotations. This exceptional book includes contributions from all the major photographers and designers who captured the band throughout their career, along with the photographs from the Atlantic Records archives and the band's personal collections. And this is on Real Art Press. And yeah, just out this month, Led Zeppelin by Led Zeppelin. So eagerly looking forward to this. So let's take it off, take the shrink wrap off, and see what's inside. All right, that is off, and I think, as I said, this is yeah, it's just a paper insert on the back. And yeah, just a plain book, but yeah, let's see. It is heavy. It is 400 page. It is heavy. So obviously we're not going to have time to look at everything in the book, but we'll kind of briefly look and see what's inside. From the reunion there, Celebration Day. And just tons of vintage photos. Not sure how much essay stuff you're going to get. Doesn't look, at least initially, like a whole lot of essay stuff. Just absolute vintage stuff. But of course this is with the full input of the band. Almost in the same style as the Beatles anthology to that degree. Yeah, but not seeing lots of text. It seems to be mainly sort of photos, little bits of write-up. Yeah, and I guess really just annotations. It's not in-depth overall, but great photos. Lots of pics. And of course the band released the Song Remains the Same soundtrack, that big super deluxe box set. If you haven't had a chance to see that, that is on one of my previous videos. Yeah, so just tons of photos. Okay. Oh, a little bit of and then photo credits at the end. So there you go. It's a big old coffee table deluxe kind of picture book for you. Led Zeppelin by Led Zeppelin. Oh, all right, so there you go. That'll be nice to take a look at and peruse a little bit. Got some vinyl for you, and yeah, picked up Blood, Sweat and Tears, their first album, and of course called Child is Father to the Man, with Al Cooper. I always thought this was a rather creepy cover. Some like it, but I always thought it was kind of creepy. So this really does set the template for Blood, Sweat and Tears with the horns. And I can see where they were thinking after Al Cooper leaving the band that they just needed a better vocalist. Because all the ingredients are there. They just needed that better vocalist, which they got with David Clayton Thomas from their second album onward. But this sets the template, and this is a great album. And this is on the Columbia Red label. And plays very well. And yeah, Blood, Sweat and Tears, their very first album. All right, a little prog rock for you. We've got Yes, Close to the Edge. And this is their, I think, their fifth album. And Bill Bruford, the drummer, left after this album, went off to join King Crimson, and then Bill Bruford would have a series of joining bands and then leaving them quite promptly. But a great drummer, can't take anything away from him. And this is a great album. It's prog at its finest. You got just 3 tracks. Close to the Edge fills up all of side 1. And you've got Bill Bruford, John Anderson, Chris Squire, Rick Wakeman, and also, of course, Steve Howe. Just a great lineup. And this is, I believe, of course, the Roger Dean artwork, and I think this is the first time that they used the stylized yes that would be featured on most of their albums after this point. But nice gatefold, and of course, as mentioned, the great Roger Dean artwork. Just love it. And this one's got the green sleeve with the liner notes inside. And on, of course, Atlantic. And there you go. Yeah, as I mentioned, I've really been enjoying the 50th Yes with John Anderson, Trevor Rabin, and Rick Wakeman. It's a great double CD. Great listen. Okay, here's an artist for whatever reason I seem to be running into at thrift stores or discount bins. Chris de Burgh. And this is his album, The Getaway, which is not a bad album overall because it does feature Don't Pay the Ferryman, which is a good tune, and also Ship to Shore. And again, there's a fair amount of ballads on this one. But looking at some of the liner notes or the musicians listing, I noticed that Steve Negus is on drums, and he was the drummer for Saga. So he's brought to them courtesy of Saga and Maze Records. And yeah, so which is interesting because Rupert Hine produced this and was producing the Canadian band Saga at the time. This came out in 1981. And I do love, almost forgot about this. I don't know if you can see that right in the corner, this little cassette with the sort of the skull and crossbones kind of thing. And in very tiny print, home taping is killing music. Oh, if they only knew what was to come. But yeah, a good album overall. As I say, Don't Pay the Ferryman, Ship to Shore. And it's got the inner sleeve here. And this was on A&M. Chris de Burgh. But yeah, he's an artist I seem to be running into a fair bit on the discount bins, shall we say. All right, John Cougar, American Fool. What a great album. This came out in 1982, really putting him on the map with Hurts So Good and Jack and Diane. Just a great album overall. And this, of course, when he was John Cougar, later to become John Cougar Mellencamp, and then just John Mellencamp. But yeah, as I said, this, great American singer-songwriter kind of stuff. And Jack and Diane, just what a great song. And this was, it was on this label that I always thought was nice, but a little busy in terms of the artwork on it. But there you go, John Cougar, American Fool. Okay, and certainly this guy's been in the news for a bit. Paul McCartney with his new album, and also the reissue of the Beatles' White Album, and announced reissuing a couple of the Wings albums, a super deluxe set. So this is simply London Town. This came out in 1978, noted for the song With a Little Luck, and I do like the long version of With a Little Luck at 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Overall, a nice album, not absolutely stunning by any stretch. And, of course, with Linda McCartney and Denny Lane, formerly of the Moody Blues, original member there. And this one's got the nice cardboard inner sleeve with the lyrics and the very nice labeling on Capitol. You've got side 1, and then you've got side 2. All right, there you go. And maybe just some time to quickly show a few cheap CDs picked up. Tina Turner. Steamy Windows, Tina Turner Foreign Affair, that contains the song Steamy Windows, and it's also got the tune The Best. Interesting on this how many Tony Joe White songs she does. Like Foreign Affair is a Tony Joe White song, also Steamy Windows, and the song You Know Who is a Tony Joe White song. But great album overall. And yeah, I picked up Buffy St. Marie, Coincidence and Likely Stories. Buffy St. Marie, Coincidence and Likely Stories. And yeah, I haven't had a chance to really peruse this one, but looking forward to listening to it. And one more, getting Rick-rolled here. Rick Astley, Whenever You Need Somebody. There you go. With Never Gonna Give You Up, Whenever You Need Somebody, Together Forever. You know, this is late 80s stuff at its finest. Rick Astley. And he hasn't changed a bit. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this vinyl update. Thanks so much, and have yourself a terrific weekend, and we will chat again soon. Thank you again so much for the comments, and hit like and subscribe. Thanks. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.